And welcome back to the channel, fool. Are you all ready for episode 121 part 1? Here we go. I knew rabbits could jump, but holy moly.
Did vampires come from the Nephilim?
Well, vampires are real in the occult. Dracula is a more modern type of the literature that's going to hold the belief system and their history within it. So you have, Dracula, for example, as the son of a dragon. It goes back to Greek for drakont and drakonta, which means watcher, as in watcher angel. It's everywhere. People just don't recognize the links of it. And of course, the giants, both before and after the flood, and secret societies probably at the adept level even today, would drink blood. And they were drinking blood to extend their life after Genesis 6:3, shorten all lifespan to 120 years. And they also used it secondarily to provide additional cognitive abilities. And so they preyed on humans not only to eat them before the flood, but to drink their blood. And then after the flood, they had to do things a little bit more in secrecy, as they were needing humankind to survive because they had a fertility issue after the flood.
So some piece of you-know-what decided that they're going to go around last night chopping down trees all over downtown LA. This is on Grand right before you get down to 5th. There's a bunch more up there by the Wells Fargo Center. I saw it in South Park as well. It's disgusting.
So nobody noticed. Was that an inside job?
Played the Ouija board and we wrote a song about it. So we wrote a song about pretty much everything that we did. Right. And we stopped playing the Ouija board because we was sitting on a bunk bed and Lazy was asking who was gonna die first in his family. And he was like, when he found out it was somebody that he didn't want, so he threw the Ouija board and then they picked it back up and then beds started falling down. So a whole bunch of stuff started happening.
So real
right, I ain't with that no more. So,
right.
We learned our lesson hands-on. And then when Eazy-E, he was like, y'all gotta do that song, man. I like that Ouija song y'all did, man. And then he started talking backwards. And then after he passed, here comes the marketing and the promotional train, and here comes the company.
Right.
You know what we need to do? Let's make some money off of it. So they put that mysterious back in the days when, CD covers and reading CD covers was the thing to do. So that it manifested from there, and I think it was a whole lot of.
Did that you feel like that's the bike?
Yeah, there's a bike on it. There's nobody there.
You go, drive.
Yo, that's creepy.
What?
Not a lost soul, just lost energy.
When they do their rituals, it's always on a checkered board. It symbolizes the two dimensions, the dimension of light and darkness, our dimension and their dimension crossing. Bohemian Grove, all these things that everyone talks about, that's what these rituals are, to ball. And one of the most important people should study, one of the most important people is Aleister Crowley, the father of the American cult, bro. This guy, when he starts doing all his crazy shit, this is where you see that shift in technology also with people like Jack Parsons. These are people that you need to know, that you need to study to understand where we are today and why these things are literally right in front of our face, because we've been conditioned slowly, gradually to accept this satanic that is not normal, man. Very slowly, very subtly. Our enemy has a longer lifespan than we do. The demonic realm, they live longer than we do. They follow us, they communicate. When you're dealing with some fortune teller who's actually saying that's real, and you're like, how the f do they know? Some of these people have sold their souls. Black magic is real. The evil eye is real. It's something we're gonna talk about. It all comes from this dimension that is parallel to ours. My fear is, with everything that's been going on, now that they're declassifying all these documents, and UFOs are real, and supposedly in Peru they were battling 7-foot aliens 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then you got people like Stephen Greer who want to say, yeah, it's all real. These are demons, brother. We know that they can travel at the speed of light. The demonic realm, we know this from scripture. We know that Cain, the one who killed his brother Abel, right? First murder on earth. We know that the devil, based on these traditions, shapeshifted into a human being went amongst the children of Cain and taught them how to make music. That is where music was created. It's actually a demonic inception. So this is where music comes from, because it's the weapon of them. It's the weapon of the demonic realm. Watch a movie without music, you'll never cry. I promise you. You can watch a million things, you know, maybe it'll be a little sad, but unless they play like that Inception music in the background, and then you see in Today I Lost My... Like, you won't feel without that sound. It's a very powerful weapon. So we know from some of these traditions, we know especially from the Muslim tradition, that the devil shape-shifted in front and went into the children of Cain and taught them how to play instruments and make music. The weekend has been going around since day one, bro. People have been gathering since the beginning of time on the weekend to dance to music, bro. Literally, since this whole thing started. The weekend has existed since day one on earth, bro.
这是什么玩意？这个啊？有人知道吗？这是什么？你们老是让我冒东西。
Chocolate ice cream, please.
So there's a satellite image from the ESA 7 satellite. This was in 1968. And it was like it was like the first visual of Earth via satellite, or like a composite of it.
Yeah.
But look at, and it's was
like
stationed
satellite?
over the North Pole. And this is the picture that they released.
What the heck?
And they talk about, oh, it's just the composite images that they all put together, and the North Pole wasn't captured. Right? Okay, well then this was from Google Earth in like the early 2000s. Send this to you.
It's the hole to the center of the Earth.
And then this was released by NASA, I believe, in the 80s or 90s.
You guys,
all separate.
Go.
Holy moly, dude.
That's
Literally.
actually unsettling.
So where's Santa?
But does it not look, if you compare it to that first map,
it's identical.
And people talk about...
And what year was that map? That was like the 1600s?
Yeah.
Gosh, man.
Yeah, and people have talked about, like, apparently NASA, but they've taken it back, or they've, like, scrubbed it or something. They talked about, like, it was really hard to find the image, but there was this obscure image that people, like, zoomed in of the Earth, and at the top there was literally a black stone sticking out, like, at the top of the world.
Oh my gosh.
A black stone.
And it's like the same as this freaking map, bro. Like,
Guys,
literally,
these mysteries of the world.
That's like, we're never going to know.
We will. I believe we'll know in heaven.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying, like, it's just... Because people will say, of course, there's nothing there. Like, you just go, like, people have gone there. It's like, well, we don't know.
You know,
that.
flight paths. You're not allowed to fly over
Is it
the
restricted?
North Pole. Yeah, because I mean, probably because it's the most harsh climate. But still,
Right.
people don't fly over the North Pole.
Yeah.
But Admiral Byrd did.
Admiral Byrd.
We've talked about him a lot too.
Yeah.
He
Good
did
name for a pilot.
Yeah, he's associated with a ton of stuff. Like even the Project Fishbowl. He was involved in the Operation High Jump.
Was he the guy that had the heart attack in Antarctica?
No, that was Buzz Aldrin.
Oh.
Admiral Byrd, this was like shortly after World War II. He was sent with an armada. The Navy sent this whole armada of battleships to the Antarctic. Super weird stuff. And it was just to explore, but it was all weaponized. And so the theory is that he went out there to seek out Nazi hideouts in Antarctica.
Yeah.
So he explored that, said that there's some crazy stuff there. And then he also did an exploration to the North Pole. And this is where this is the conspiracy part.
Okay.
Because apparently he had, and we've talked about it before, I believe, but his secret diary that only he had. And then when he died, his son got it. And then when his son was trying to publish the stuff in it, he died, like under very mysterious circumstances. But Admiral Byrd talks about in this secret diary, allegedly that he wrote, people think that it's fake, that when he went to explore the North Pole, there was an entry to inner Earth, like hollow Earth.
And that would make sense with this big old hole.
It would. And he describes it as being in the Earth, lush green land beyond the ice, mammoth-like creatures, a technology-advanced civilization, and meeting with a being called the Master, who warns humanity about nuclear weapons.
Wow.
So this is where it gets a little like,
Yeah.
I don't know about it.
But it sounds like the little green children.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought about. It was the green kids.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That literally backs up that story. That's so fun to think about. A
Yeah.
giant hole that has a whole different world. I mean, yeah, dude.
It's all
I'm just
freaking
saying,
me.
like sci-fi. So the possibility of sci-fi movies right now
Oh
are just
my
endless.
gosh.
But apparently this master gave Admiral Byrd this message. It's a long message. But at one point he says to Admiral Byrd, you see, we have never interfered before in your race's wars of barbarity,
Wow.
but now we must, for you have learned to tamper with a certain power that is not for man, namely the atomic energy. Our emissaries have already delivered messages to the powers of your world, and yet they do not heed. You have been chosen to witness here that our world does exist. You see, our culture and science is many thousands of years beyond your race.
Wow.
You, my son, must return to the surface of the world with this message.
Cool.
And then he died.
Here's some interesting footage that I came across online today of a black object that looks, a lot of people are going to shout that it looks like a balloon, but let's watch this object's movement. As we can see here, the observer has some form of high ground, so you can get a good look at this object as it descends. And just watch the movement of this object. Now, people are going to say this is a balloon. Watch its movement as it's heading downwards in a straight line as it goes towards the ground here. Now, it doesn't hit the ground, it doesn't bounce off the ground or anything like that. It descends down towards this little area here that we can see. Now, I have zoomed in slightly here. I'm not too sure who done this recording, but if anyone knows who recorded this object, feel free to reach out. Now, we can see from the tree here that the winds are very slight, so I'm assuming it's probably around 2 to 5 miles an hour of wind. It's not windy at all. It might even be less than that. And you can see the object here as it comes towards this fence line. Now, as we watch it go towards this fence line as it's moving. Now, you'll see when he zooms in on it in just a moment. As you can see, it's towards the middle of the screen. If you can see it, I've tried to zoom in slightly, so we can catch its movement as it zigzags backwards and forwards. Very erratic. Very erratic. This is an amazing capture. This is an amazing capture. Now, anyone who's going to just shout balloon, you know, you need to pay attention. You really need to be paying attention to what these objects are doing. Right, there it goes forwards, starts coming backwards. But notice it maintains the same altitude. It stays the same height in the sky as it's making these movements. It's not bobbing up and down or anything here. It's going backwards and forwards. And as you can see, the observer is zooming in on the object, and it has some form of gold insignia on the right-hand side here. Note, this is another important notice here, as the gold side is on the right-hand side. That is the only side you ever see. It does not move or rotate. This object is not flailing in the wind. It stays the same side consistently all the way through the video. That is not normal. That is not normal. There's no tumbling up with this object. An amazing capture. Such an amazing capture. And just in a moment, I believe the observer who's recording this loses track of it, as it's erratic movements are swaying backwards and forwards. But yeah, a really good capture, guys. If you'd like to see more like this on the channel, feel free to drop us a follow, drop a like, a share, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
Looks legit, but no shadow.
Notice the environment before we start. Pay attention. Ready? It's just me. I don't work for Marvel. I don't got no team. You feel me? It's me in my backyard. It's time to accept the truth, bro. It's only gonna. You feel me? This is. Notice the environment. Now notice me in the environment. You see that? Notice the environment.
Hold up, bro. I can hear the fan, but nice try.
And whoever this was that we call the ancient Egyptians, they were not of this world to start with. They came here knowing all that we still are trying to find out. So it implies that they were not from here. They came in fully understanding the whole universe. And they were able to do things with their temples and with the way that they laid out the pyramids. They knew things we didn't know, and we still don't know. And we're still trying today. In metaphysics and in occultism, religion, we're trying to find the bottom line that the ancient peoples, they are.
And God got you, my bro.
There's two photos here, and the first one looks normal. I'll show that to y'all. If you want to go ahead and show Chris the normal one, Maddie.
Okay.
Just a normal photo.
Kids in a kitchen.
Nothing's happening. Everything's just chill. Definitely no entities, right?
Right.
No entities in that. If you scroll down.
Oh.
We have this
That.
crazy stuff. There should be a
That's
zoomed in. Is there a zoomed in photo?
That's so creepy.
That's some ring stuff going on right there.
Oh my
That's-
God.
Yeah.
Like you can
almost
see the
catch a
hair.
smile.
Right.
Right? It's smiling. And it's hair.
It's like
And it even like
you can
it's
see
long black hair.
The fact that she's covering her ear, like she does not look happy.
No,
she's
she doesn't.
the only one in there that's not having a good time and looking directly at the camera.
Right.
Maybe she's hoping the camera's capturing whatever's talking to her.
Maybe.
I would say like that in like the demon that was like in the boxing ring.
Yeah, that's what it gives.
It does
It
give
gives
that.
demon in the boxing ring.
I think it's time to go to bed, guys.
This is really amazing about the reality of the demonic world. There's a guy named Richard Gallagher. He's a psychiatrist. He and his wife had 2 cats, and they loved each other. But one night, they went nuts on each other. They're attacking each other, hissing, they're growling, they're snarling, they're trying to kill each other. They literally had to rip them apart. So what the heck is going on? They couldn't figure it out. Well, the next morning, the doorbell rings at 9 in the morning, and it was a previous appointment. A Catholic priest was bringing a woman who claimed to be a high priestess of a satanic cult to be evaluated by him to see if she was mentally ill or perhaps demon possessed or whatever. So at 9 o'clock, the doorbell rings. He opens the door, and here's this woman who claims to be a priestess of a satanic cult. She kind of sneers at him, and she says, "How'd you like those cats last night?"
In the following video, Diana Sudi and her brother are freaking out after seeing many police cars pulling up to their backyard.
One that now looks like there's another one. There's another one? Oh, you're right. What the hell is... Here. Look, I was...
It appears that all the policemen are checking out this trailer. Something about it must be worth examining because, as it seems, a lot of cops are going inside. According to Diana, the trailer belongs to her father and he's been renting it out to someone. However, the person living inside has not left the trailer for more than a week, which is why the police are here. They're conducting a welfare check to see if the man inside is okay, but upon checking, they discovered something rather unfortunate.
He's not coming out. The judge.
The man had passed away. Now, it's worth mentioning that during this recording, Diana and her brother didn't know the man had passed. They were just recording all the commotion that was going on in their backyard. But as they got closer to the trailer, Diana captures something that she can't explain. The following is her footage. Watch closely.
I'm right there, right there. Wait, they're going up to Tom's place. So wait, you said the light wasn't off?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a lot of cops.
Holy Joe, what the hell?
They're coming out.
Are they calling something in? They're going back over. What was Tom doing?
They're just looking at. You can check or something.
Neither Diana nor her brother had noticed the small figure. They don't recall ever seeing the silhouette from the recording, which makes them think that it was never there to begin with. However, the video shows otherwise. Something was actually there, but for some reason, they couldn't see it in person. But of course, the strangest part about this is the figure itself. At some point, the figure disappears behind a policeman.
Oh, that's a lot of cops.
To Diana, this might explain why the silhouette was completely elusive to them. Now, while this whole incident creeps her out, it doesn't compare to what happens when she and her father decide to go inside the trailer a few days after this occurrence. But Diana regrets helping him because, while checking it out, this happens.
Oh. You brought the car?
Yeah. Hey.
Get ready. Could be a little smelly.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Oh my God. Jeez. Oh my God. What was that?
A lifeless crow suddenly falls out from an open cabinet, scaring the living daylights out of Diana. Although not sure how it just suddenly fell out, she has no words for what she finds while being inside the trailer. What she uncovers has left her beyond spooked. Watch.
Oh. Oh. Whoa. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, Jesus. Wait, did this guy have a kid? What is this?
Yeah, this kid died like before. A long time ago.
While it may seem like nothing significant, these handprints are the reason why Diana hasn't been able to come back to this trailer. It didn't immediately click for her, but after going home and watching this video, she quickly sent it to her brother, who then told her exactly what she was thinking. While looking back at the video she took days before, she couldn't help but notice the size of the figure. Its stature is similar to that of a child's. Could it be, as Diana thinks, that the figure may have been the spirit of the man's child? Given what occurred on this night, she feels that its appearance was unlikely to be a coincidence.
What is this?
Yeah, this kid's already shooting like I don't know before. Long time ago.
As with all videos, I'll let you be the judge on whether or not something paranormal was captured. But for now, this video remains a mystery.
The shadow figure seriously give me the chills.
What has been happening when people die here since 10,500 BC? Most of them get hijacked. As soon as the body, as soon as you die, your consciousness starts to raise in frequency and your body starts to drop in frequency until they separate and sever. What normally happens is your consciousness keeps raising in frequency and then it will go up and connect to your D5 level of self. That's where you see the light at the end of the tunnel in near-death experiences. That's when you're connecting with the center of your soul matrix in D5. What these wormholes and the people who run them have been doing is they have been literally sealing off the ability to make that transition out of this planetary system into the next density level. They have been siphoning off people when they die and dragging them into Phantom Matrix. There's a whole bunch of them there that know this is the time they can get out. And after this time, that matrix is going to be closed. It's going to be literally probably millions of years before anybody tries to go back in there, because it's a place that almost took this matrix down, trying to save it. So right now, there's a whole bunch of people, and people that aren't in bodies anymore, that are trying to get the heck out. So if we start to see tragedies and things happening.
And who's really keeping us here? And it's a wrap on part 1, fool. I hope you enjoyed it, because part 2 is up. Go check it out right now.